Hey, and welcome back to the Northeast Business Podcast. Jess, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. The kids were excited today because it was the first snow
Don't
of the.
even.
Yeah,
Don't even. I felt like I needed ice skates walking to the train this morning.
yeah. I think this kids are the people that get the most excited about snow.
Yeah.
They're like at the back window, pressed, looking at the garden, like it's snowing, daddy, it's snowing, daddy. So I'm like, whoa, yeah. Time to chuck out a jumper and a suit combo to do. So yeah, but all good. When's the Christmas tree go up?
I actually don't have a Christmas tree.
What?
Yeah, I actually don't have one. My mom has already put hers up though. She put hers up last weekend, but yeah, I actually don't even own a Christmas tree. I don't know
Oh,
if I should get one.
I was just going on Friday. You have to get a Christmas tree. You can decorate the office Christmas tree can be yours.
I I'll get one for the office. I think that would be a vibe, but yeah, I don't really think it's worth having one at home.
Oh, Jess.
I know, such a Grinch. But no, I'm already envisioning it like tree in the corner here, Christmas songs on the telly with one of those like fake fire TVs,
Yeah.
set all the vibes, it's gonna be great.
I know the next few podcasts will be on with some Christmas jumpers on.
We'll have to get hats and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll change this Newcastle shirt to like a one
Yeah.
of background.
Hang some lights up behind.
Yeah.
What about yourselves? You're putting yours up the weekend. Is it this weekend?
Yeah, so we're going to do it Friday and then it'll take like the weekend, especially with kids. You put
Yeah.
things up, they pull one thing down, so it's not like a an hour process it used to be before kids. It's like going to be done over a couple of days now. So yeah, the tree and the decorations go up on Friday, Saturday slash maybe Sundays. You know how it goes.
Nice. So excited. Are you like particular now with how you want the decorations hung, or is it just like a free for all? Because my mom used to be very OCD about, she used to let me and my sister decorate the tree, but then she would get up in the middle of the night and redecorate it.
I'm not Angie's, so which means technically I am as well. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but all
Fair
good,
enough.
all good.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean the past like month even like in the office has just been absolutely insane, I think. Like with how the guys are doing growth wise, like it's definitely been like right like a step in the right direction.
Yeah, business on all fronts is moving in the right direction. I think it's a really
Yeah.
positive time of the year. Um, because people are starting to look like how's the year gone? Are they on track to hit goals? Everybody sets them New Year's resolutions, which which
Hmm.
go around, and when you start getting to November, you have a sort of either an exciting feeling or that sinking feeling that another year's passed, and have you really ticked off a few things?
Yeah.
Have you moved forward with your career? And that's what we decided to talk about in this week's podcast was frustration and delayed gratification. Because I know that's what I've been coaching a few different businesses, and a few people ask me different questions, and a common question this time of the year is, "Oh, I'm feeling a little bit frustrated." And then when you've been involved in business a little bit longer than them, you understand delayed gratification. So
Hmm.
that's kind of what we're going to break this episode into is go into two sections. We're going to go through um, frustration, how to use it, and how to channel it, and then going into understanding actually what delayed gratification is.
Yeah, definitely. Because it all ties in together. I mean, people get frustrated because they want all of their hard work and efforts to pay off
Yeah.
instantly, but obviously going into delayed gratification, like what would you like what why do you think it's good to wait? Like why do you think people want instant results? Why do you think people should just wait for the result to pay off at the end?
Well, first of all, when people get frustrated, especially with this, and I'm 40 now, so there's a generation below me. So the reason why I think a lot of this generation gets frustrated, and a lot of this generation doesn't quite understand or really want delayed gratification, is that we're in the instant. They used to get everything instantly. They used to get things,
Hmm.
which is great in some cases, don't get me wrong, but because a lot of things you can get delivered to your door, or even like if you want to listen to a song, I could tell you a song that you've never heard of, and vice versa. We listen to different types of music, and what we do is we log onto our app, which we stream our music through. You search the name of the song, or you search the name of the artist, and I can be listening to a song that you tell me within like 20 seconds. So we're used to getting the information now. We're used to getting what we want now. If you want food, you press on, you go and click on an app, and someone brings food to your door within minutes.
Yeah.
And Amazon, which is incredible, the reason why Amazon's amazing, like it's actually easy to go on there, order a product, it gets delivered to your house the next day. Whereas if you go to the shop or find time to go to the shop, it could take sometimes a week to find the time to go and
Yeah.
buy a product. So the generation's used to getting things instantly. They're used to getting things now. And if you want to find a movie, you can go on Sky, you can download stuff, you can fast forward adverts, you can go to Netflix, you can go to Disney, you can go to Amazon Prime, you can go to YouTube. So you can tell me like a movie or a box set that you're watching, and within like that evening you can be watching it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas before, when I was younger, if you wanted to have a CD, you'd save up your money, then you'd pop down to the shop at the weekend, you'd buy the CD, and then you'd bring it back and you listen to it. Or if you watched a certain box set, you had to go and save up your money, then go and buy the actual physical box set, then bring it home
Yeah.
and put the tape in, or you'd lend it off your friend and borrow tapes. Whereas none of that happens now. So it's just the way that that naturally the generation is. It's again, it's not necessarily a bad thing in terms of it helps you get services quicker, but I think sometimes the mindset, you tend to find people get frustrated a lot quicker, and sometimes they don't want that delayed gratification.
And how do we get out of that mindset? How do we switch our mindset?
We'll talk about the frustration part first because we can break it down into two parts to understand. So I think with frustration, if you learn how to manage it, it can
Hmm.
become an energy source. So when you feel frustrated, you naturally get like all tense and you're like, "Rah, I want to be
Yeah.
moving forward faster." So same as any emotion, you can use it as energy to go and attack what it is that you're frustrated about. You just got to learn how to channel it. So with frustration, if you can understand, it never really totally goes away.
Hmm.
As you get a little bit more experienced, you learn how to channel it. So when you first maybe come into sales, because we work in a few businesses which heavily involve sales,
Yeah.
so a sales rep might not be hitting the targets, or they want to be further ahead, or they want to progress or pick up a promotion or hit a certain target, etc., etc. And so they can get frustrated towards it. But also through my network as well, I know a lot of people who are really successful, worth multi-millions of pounds, and they're still frustrated about the situation they're in because they want to be further ahead, or they wanted to hit
Hmm.
this goal, or they wanted to hit one, two, three. So there's just different levels of frustration. It's just understanding that that frustration is never really going to completely go away, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just it's just learning when you feel that level of frustration, it can actually be a good thing because it shows that you care about it. So if you're feeling frustrated about your career, that's good. It means you care about the business that you're working in, or you care about the sales and the team that you're managing. So frustration, yeah, it's just learning how to channel it and make it move forward. Because if you're not aware and you become just frustrated, and it then starts affecting your day-to-day
Hmm.
productivity, or the way that you interact with people, or the way you interact with customers, it can actually make you freeze, and it can become like a long-term thing where you spend weeks and months frustrated. Whereas if you just accept, hey, I'm frustrated because I'm in this position, I want to be there, I understand that.
Yeah.
Go and speak to a mentor, go and see where you are, where you want to get to, and just understand it's part of that journey.
So managing it, you would just say like just take a step back and just try like look at the bigger picture of why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, totally. I think we might even mention it on this podcast before, like if in doubt, zoom out.
Yeah, yeah.
So with a lot of our team and a lot of different types of businesses, you can actually look at where you were a month ago or look at where you were a couple of months ago.
Okay. Okay.
But if you're frustrated with the now, so if you're frustrated with what you did, let's say, so it's like Wednesday, so you could be frustrated with what you did Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 days of frustration, right?
Hmm.
Because naturally as humans, we are emotional people. We feel happiness, we feel sadness, we feel love, we feel joy. So we get really emotional about what's happening right now. So let's say you've had 2 days where whatever's happened, big deals fell through, or you've slept in, and whatever it is. So you have 2 days where I'm not happy with what's going on. I'm really frustrated. I'm really angry. But then if we said, hey, let's look back at your career. What were you doing 2 months ago? Where are you at 6 months ago? What were you doing a year ago? And all of a sudden, you realize your line is still on the trajectory to go up. you're
Hmm.
still like improving over a long period of time. But if you ever actually just zoom in on the line, you'll notice the line has lots of ups and lots of downs.
Hmm.
But the further back you zoom, you realize it is just a continuous straight line going forward. So
Yeah.
you got to make sure that you're zooming out, you're comparing, you're speaking to your mentors. And we touched briefly on if you feel frustrated, it's a good thing. And I mentioned this to a few people before, and like, what do you mean frustration's a good thing, Glenn? Um, so yeah, it does show you care. So I've got an example for you, okay? Um, Jess, what did you do? You were working in a call center before, right?
Yeah.
Um, and if something went, I worked on the building site previous to this, so if you were working in the call center, I was on the building site. When something went wrong on the building site, or when something went wrong in the call center, it might sound horrible, but I wasn't too fussed. It didn't spoil my evening.
Yeah.
So
Really
if
just it didn't bother me at all.
yeah, so if the call center, like, I don't know, the internal system went down for like 2 hours.
I'm chilling. I'm like
Yeah.
kicked back. I'm like, great, no calls for 2 hours.
Yeah. And I remember once when we were doing this, working on a building site, and this wall fell down. It was like a concrete cement wall, and like they took away one of the, not to get boring, but they took away one of the sides, and the cement hadn't been allowed long enough, and it like fell down.
Uh,
It cost the company a lot of money and put like the project back however length of time. I'm like, ah, we'll just come back tomorrow and just start again
yeah.
because it was just a job.
Yeah.
Whereas now, when even like now, when I'm hitting a career and there's a business that I'm building, and for yourself, you know that you're building your business and your career too.
Hmm.
Frustration towards something not going according to plans because we care about it.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling frustration, it generally means that you care. It means that you're probably in the right place. Let's go and speak to a mentor. Let's go and see what we need to do to continue that. If in doubt, zoom out. You'll see the little lines of the daily activity going up and going down. But overall, as long as you're on the right trajectory, like you'll actually see that you've progressed and moved forward. So it's learning how to harbour and how to channel that energy to be a positive thing.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think it's so easy to just spiral and let your thoughts get out of control. Like I used to get so frustrated, like doing recruitment. I'm like, oh, I want to be here. Like, why am I not here? Why am I not in this position within the business? But then it's
Yeah.
like, right, okay, well, my career grows when the business grows, and the business grows when I recruit and when I bring really cool people into the business. So I have to be responsible for that. And yeah, it's frustrating at times, but like exactly, you just have to zoom out and you have to just be like, right, okay, just because you had one bad day doesn't mean it's going to affect the rest of my week. Like even today didn't hit target for all of the people that I wanted coming in, but tomorrow I can build on that. The next day I can build on that. So it is
Mhm.
just taking a breather, taking a step back and not getting too frustrated about it.
But then you look at us where our targets have been for a month or so. It's
Yeah.
in there, right?
Yeah,
But
we're like in a totally different position now than where we were a month ago, which is
yeah,
great.
yes, that's kind of frustration. It happens to everybody. It's a natural thing, but just to overall and kind of sum it up, use it as a positive, use it as a
Mhm.
free energy source, and also use it as like a little hint that you're probably in the right place because you actually do
Yeah.
care about it. Um, yeah, and then the second part of that was delayed gratification, as we spoke about. Not to jump on it again, but the modern generation, like you see all these adverts on Instagram where it's like, start this, follow me, pay for this course, and be a millionaire
Hmm.
by the end of the month. Uh, have this product, drop ship this, make thousands of pounds. So you're constantly getting things flashed in front of your face saying, hey, if you do this, you're going to get this straight away. If you do this, this is going to happen within like weeks. This person did their first sale within this length of time. So I downloaded a song in however many seconds. I ordered food and it was delivered within the hour. We're used to having things come quick at us, which is great for services. But sometimes when it's in your career and when you're building something special, it's understanding delayed gratification. So the work that you're doing right now and the energy that you're putting in and the personal development that you're putting in, you're going to see them benefits maybe 6 weeks from now or 6 months from now, or even 6 years from now, depending
Yeah.
on how big the project is that you're looking to build. So if someone's looking to learn a new skill, whether that's sales or whatever, you could spend a month learning how to do sales, and yeah, you'd be decent at it. But if you spend 6 months learning sales, like you'd be good. You spend a couple of years, and you'd be exceptional, right? It's the same as like if you want to build a business, like it's going to take time to get that return. And I've got a couple of examples here on how starting is the hardest point. Because I think when in business, it's sometimes people roll their eyes a little bit. It's like, oh, it's just some business analogy. But if you look at all these little things, right? So the first one is weight loss. So if somebody wants to lose weight, that happens by starting. That's the hardest point, right? Because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll start next month, or I'll start on Monday, or this takeaway will be my last one, or this cake, I'll have it this time. I won't next time. I won't have the dessert or whatever it is. We're getting started is the hardest point, and it's not until maybe a month down the line when you jump on the scales and you realize, oh, or someone pays a compliment to you and say, oh, have you lost weight? Then you start feeling like, oh, I'm so glad I started a month ago.
Yeah.
And then if you work out or you go to the gym or whether it's you doing cardio or whatever it is, like the more you do it, the more the rewards become obvious, and then you start getting more compliments. But
Hmm.
starting is always the hardest point because you're like, oh, I don't have this extra bar of chocolate, like it's going to make no difference. But that starting point is always the hardest bit. Um, Learning a new skill. So
Yeah.
yes, within business or within sort of any industry that you're working in, even if you take it something that you want to do personally, that you do for enjoyment, like playing guitar. So my past, I played guitar and
Uh-huh.
to a little bit. Like when you first pick up that guitar and you try to play that first chord, it's like impossible. You think I'm never going to learn this, and there's so many people pick up a guitar once, twice, and then it goes in the loft and collects dust. But if you constantly work at it and get better at it, it becomes second nature, it becomes easy. And
Yeah.
you can apply that analogy to a whole boat of different things, whether it be dancing, whether it be knitting, whether it be playing a computer game. Yeah, things at the start are always the most difficult. And that's when most people quit because they're not willing to put that extra effort in just to become good at it. And eventually it just becomes second nature. Same as driving.
Yeah. That's true.
A lot of people drive and like they say, yeah, I don't even know how I got here. Muscle memory kicks in, and all of a sudden it
Hmm.
happens and moves forward. Um, Saving money and compound interest. So when somebody wants to start a savings pot and someone's really bad with money, and I've coached quite a lot of people who want to learn how to save, and you put that first, say, 50 quid from your pay goes in, and you're like, right, you're out with the girls, you're out with your friends on a Saturday night, like, one extra round of drinks and you log into your app now and you can move your 50 quid from one pot to the next pot. And lots of people laugh when you talk about this because we've all been guilty of it at some point, or you have like
Yeah.
your second bank card where you transfer some money, like, I'm not going to spend that, but then you go to the back of your wallet or your purse and you get that card out, which you know has got extra 50 quid in because it's just £50. But then if you're disciplined and start adding that 50 quid every single week or every single month, however how often you get paid, once that number gets to 500 or gets to 1,000 or gets to 2,000, you start feeling better and you start getting excited about checking the savings pot because it
Hmm.
becomes more rewarding. And if you manage to keep that for over a year and all of a sudden you have X amount saved there, it becomes an exciting number to look at. But it's just that starting point. It's amazing how many people transfer in 50 quid and spend that 50 quid within a week, and the next week they transfer in 50 quid and spend that 50 quid or
Yeah.
100 or whatever the analogies that people want to use. So yeah, getting started is always the hardest thing.
And then once you get started, how do people, what are your tips on people to just keep going? Because it's obviously like building resilience, it's having that
Yeah.
determination to just want to keep going. Like, yeah, I suppose, yeah, you have to want it, don't you?
You've got to want it, and then it's easy to say, yeah, just keep going. It's easy to
Yeah.
say that, but I suppose you've got to look at people in the position that you want to be in and start seeing like what are the returns that they're getting.
Hmm.
Because it's going to be very rare that you're the first person to invent a product or invent a business. So
Yeah.
10 times out of 100, you see what you're building and look, right, this person started doing what I was doing 1 year ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, and their lifestyle's looking like this now, or their business looks like this, or their career looks like this, or their skill set looks like this. Um, I want to have that, or I want to do that, or if I learn from their mistakes, it might have took them 5 years, whereas if I listen to them, become a good student, and listen to what their mistakes were, I can maybe do it in 2 years instead of myself 3 years, or
Hmm.
that's a really important thing when it comes to networking and spending time with people who are in the position that you want to be in.
Yeah.
Uh, it also helps you understand that delayed gratification because you can see that their life's changed by ABC because they did what you did. And it helps you just put yourself to, you got to be present in the now and enjoy the journey because
Mhm.
life, it sounds a bit cheesy, but life is constantly a journey. So you're always going to be working or traveling towards something. But you almost got to keep dropping your head into like a year from now or 2 years from now or 3 years from now to see what that lifestyle is going to look like and what them goals are going to look like.
Yeah, that's true. I think as well, like with delayed gratification, when you're not looking for that quick fix, that quick result, if it's like, oh, next month I want to be a millionaire or I want to do whatever, you're kind of just setting this like unrealistic expectation for yourself. And then when you don't meet that, it's kind of just like it's like the end of the world. It's like, oh, I give up then. It's obviously not going to work. But if you set yourself, okay, in the next like 5 years, 10 years, I'm going to build a business and I'm going to become a millionaire and it's going to take me X amount of time. And it's like when it slowly does start to happen, you appreciate it a bit more and you're like, okay, I actually am on the right track. So what I'm doing is working and you're more likely to stick at it.
Yeah, and when I first started off from like an entrepreneur journey, over 15 years ago now, and maybe
Hmm.
20 years ago actually, if I include my early adventures. One of my very first coaches, he was very good at bringing like building site analogies back in because that was naturally my background from school.
Uh-huh.
It's quite, if you're watching us on YouTube or if you're on the app and you can see us having bricks behind us on the video as well, it's kind of apt into this. So every day that you turn up and work towards your project, you get a brick. And every single day you get another brick, and every single day you get another brick. And if you keep turning up, eventually you're going to get enough bricks to build what it is that you want to build. And the great thing about bricks is that you can actually lay them in any direction that you want, and you can shape them to whatever you want to be. And as long as you've got the right foundations, as long as you spend time building the start, that eventually everything else will continue to build. And like buildings, you can build them in any shape or any form that you want to. And that was the same as like building goals and building the business or the career that you want to have. And when my coach told me that, it just really hit home because it's like as long as you keep turning up every single day, then eventually one day it will turn right and it will be successful. But what a lot of people don't want is they don't want to turn up every single day to get the bricks.
Yeah.
You just want to walk into a ready-made, successful building, which there's not really anything about.
Would be nice if it was that easy, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So yeah, that was pretty much the a lot of the conversations we've been having in the few different businesses that we work in right now. People talking about frustration, people maybe not understanding delayed gratification, or maybe half understanding it but not really sure how to control that and look forward to it. So
Mhm.
yeah, hopefully this week's pod and this week's stream will help people. So it's just talking of understanding frustration, use as an energy, the delayed gratification, how to look forward and how to actually engineer that to help push you towards your goals.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good coming up to like the end of the year. People might be like, oh, I'll wait until New Year to do this, but it's like you can be ahead of the game if you just start now.
Yes, totally. That with if you think of it, we're recording this. It's the 20th of November now, so you have probably like what 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks to Christmas.
Mhm.
You can accomplish a lot in 4.5 weeks. You can learn a
Definitely.
new skill in 4.5 weeks. You can start learning a language in 4.5 weeks. You can start working on deals. You can start learning new skills. You can build team members. You can do a lot of sales in 4.5 weeks. You can start a new website. Whatever it is that you work towards, 4.5 weeks is a long period. But if you've got the mindset of like, oh, it's nearly Christmas, I'll start the new year. Whereas a lot of people I see wind down in November, wind down in December, ready to get started again in January. So they start the momentum in January, but don't actually get going to February, March. Whereas people push right until the end of December.
Yeah.
Yes, recharge the batteries, enjoy time with family, whatever, if you celebrate Christmas or not. So use that time through the back end of December to recharge, but you're not completely spent 6 weeks wound down or mentally switched off. So when the new year does come around, you've had that time to recharge and you start the new year off with a bang. Whereas some people still crawling up the caves and just waking themselves up 6 weeks slumber.
No, 100%. We'll already have a few more bricks laid down by then, so I think we're
Definitely
good.
awesome. But yeah, we'll be getting back on and we'll be putting some episodes up before Christmas as well. So we'll have another 3 or 4 before then. But yeah, Jess, as always, appreciate you. Thank you very much for jumping on
Thank
with
you
us.
so much. It's been great.
Awesome. All right. If you haven't already, make sure you're giving us a like and a subscribe and all the thumbs up and all the things that you do on the socials. Cheers.
Bye.